enjoyed tonight. It's been absolutely excellent. And William, oh my God, the memories when Santa got stuck up the chimney and he began to shout, "You girls and boys won't get any toys unless you pull me out." I was shouting it along with him. It just reminds me of very happy times. Um, and this story was written this year, for this year. Crahor lived in Castletown, Kenna, out in the wild sticks of Cork. There was great wide fields for him to play in, and little copses of trees. And in the middle of those trees, the animals were so tame that they'd come right up and look into your eyes as if sharing secrets of the soul. He laughed there, he played there, he sang songs there. But then at the age of 6, like many other families, his parents decided that they would need to leave Castletown, Kenna, and go up to the big smoke of Cork City to get some work, if you understand. They took Crahor, kicking and screaming, or so it was in his memory, out from his beautiful wide fields of Castletown, Kenna, to Cork City. And he began to feel the weight immediately. The air was heavier, and also they changed his name. In school they couldn't get their city tongues around the name Crahor. "We call him Connor," they said. "Sure, 'tis the same thing anyway." But it wasn't the same thing for him. And then the years passed, and the weight on his spirit grew heavier and heavier, and it came to the year 2020. Everybody was wearing masks. You could only see their eyes now, and they looked down. They didn't look up. They didn't look in. They didn't look into your soul like the animals did long ago in Castletown, Kenna. He was walking through the cold quay one day, and sitting on the window of Dervish, there was a woman. She was all wrinkles, her eyes nearly lost in her face. But when she saw Crahor, her eyes got wide and young, and she said, "Ah, Anfia Bon! Anfia Bon!" "No," he said, "my name is Crahor." And he surprised himself by using his old name, and it brought a smile to his face. And he took a risk, and he took off his mask, and he looked into those ancient but young eyes. "An Fia Bon," she said, "An Fia Bon." And then she squeezed him in the fleshy part of his thumb, just there, and it kind of released something, and it made him laugh out loud, and he felt connection, and he felt warmth, and through his own eyes he showed his gratitude to that woman. And then he was going home, and he was singing away to himself, "Avaka to my vocalid, my vornin og my hay machine," singing away to himself. He didn't remember singing at all since he came to the city. He crossed the footbridge and then up the rock steps towards his own little house. And he started to get a taste for brown bread. And he took his mother's bowl down, and he took out all the ingredients and threw them into the wide bowl. You need a wide bowl to make brown bread properly. And then he mixed them all, put them into the little tin and into the oven. Soon the smell of brown bread was permeating through the house and bringing him back on the road of memory to happy times. He cut the bread and he slathered it in generous amounts with the blackberry jam. Sure, he collected those smearadova himself earlier in the year when there was no one around except the birds singing. The city was quiet then. He ate the bread and he went to sleep. It was coming up to Samhain Eve, and there was a big full moon over the River Lee. They called it the full moon, and it wouldn't let him rest. So he got up out of his bed, he put on his coat, he walked back down the rock steps towards the River Lee, crossed the bridge and out towards the Western Road. And he was feeling as if he was being pulled there, almost by a magnet. And on Ceol Dríochta, the magic mist of the Lee began to rise and curl around the streets of Cork City, and it called him closer into its heart. He got to the Western Road where the River Lee was singing under the moon. And there, next to a tree, he saw her. He saw coalescing out of the mist, the white deer on Fia Bawn, and he couldn't stop looking at her. No words were exchanged between them, but she called him all the same, and he heard her words in his head. Cruhur, Cruhur mor vornin, tar an seo mo crí, tar an seo mo vocal. Cruhur, the one that I love so much that it stops the beat of my heart. Come here to me now. And he answered her call, and he stepped closer and closer. And in that spirit language, she asked him, how's your heart, my vocal? How's your heart, my boy? And he said, it's heavy. 2020 has been a hard year. People look down. They don't look in. We're not connected. It feels like Cork City itself is broken. And she said, would you like to come with me now, to step into the mist, to wait until Ireland is healed, until there's love once more pouring through the city like the river itself flows here? And in answer, he stepped into the mist.